Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to the inaugural Libby Book Awards. My name is Joe Skelly, and I'm the co host of the Professional Book Nerds podcast. Joining me tonight as well is my wonderful co host, Emma Dwyer.
Hi, everyone.
We are so excited and honored to be your hosts for this evening as we announce the winners of the Libbys. I want to give everyone a few minutes here to join the Zoom or on YouTube Live. If you are on Zoom and have any issues, please use the Q&A feature and our friend Gabby will be there to assist you. A little bit about us. We're the hosts of Overdrive's Professional Book Nerds podcast. We release 6+ episodes per month where we share book recommendations, chat upcoming releases, give you suggestions to improve your reading life, and of course, interview authors. If you're not following us already, you can listen to the Professional Book Nerds podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you do your listening. We're on social media at ProBookNerds, and our website is professionalbooknerds.com. But enough about us. Let's talk about the Libby Book Awards. You may be wondering, how were these titles chosen, and how did this award show come to be? Here at Overdrive, we are all about books, hence the Libbys. This is our chance to spotlight and roll out the red carpet for the best of 2023, nominated by our expert panel of librarians. Titles were chosen by librarians and voted on by them as well, down to tonight's finalists. Once we got to the finalists for each category, the winners were selected by vote from library staff across North America. We couldn't do this without all of your wonderful and countless help, all the hours you've spent. We get to work with all of you in so many different ways, and for that, we are grateful. Thank you for your time and for your votes. As for all of you joining us live, thank you for being here, and we hope you enjoy the show. Now, let's get the Libbys rolling. Emma, would you like to kick us off with our first category?
I would be happy to kick us off with our first category. And for those that regularly listen to the Professional Book Nerds podcast, you know that this is one of my favorite categories. So we are going to start with romance. So hopefully kick the night off with a sizzling award. Now, I love romance books. I talk about it a lot on the podcast. So much so that I convinced Joe to read several romances, and we talked about that on the podcast. So I think it's really important that we highlight romance books in this category. And so I'm really happy to say that the finalists for the best romance book are Anna Maria and the Fox by Liana de la Rosa, Business or Pleasure by Rachel Lynn Solomon, Georgie All Along by Kate Claiborne, A Nobleman's Guide to Seducing a Scoundrel by KJ Charles, and We Could Be So Good by Kat Sebastian. Now, putting my card aside for the envelope for Best Romance, the winner is, hold on, Georgie All Along by Kate Claiborne. Congratulations, Kate, on winning Best Romance. So, Georgie All Along, for those of you not familiar, follows a longtime personal assistant, Georgie. She's made her career putting others before herself. And when she's forced to return to her hometown, she has to ask and answer questions about love, career, reconciling with the past, and finding her path, all while knowing her true worth. So, again, congratulations. The winner for Best Romance is Georgie All Along by Kate Claiborne.
So exciting to see that. Our next category is Best Mystery. Now, if you grew up in Cabot Cove with Jessica Fletcher like I did, you likely already love this genre. From cozies to twists and turns, mysteries keep us on our toes until the very last page. The finalists are Age of Vice by Deepti Kapoor, Happiness Falls by Angie Kim, Symphony of Secrets by Brendan Slocum, The Last Devil to Die by Richard Osman, and Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers by Jesse Q. Sutanto. Now it's my turn to pick up the envelope for Best Mystery, and our winner is Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers by Jesse Q. Sutanto. Congratulations, Jesse, on that win. Vera Wong, a lonely shopkeeper, takes it upon herself to solve a murder in the most peculiar way by befriending her customers and potential suspects. Will this mother hen end up having to give one of her newfound chicks over to the police? You can find out that and more in Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers.
Yay! So we've started off with two of our favorite categories, mystery and romance. Now on to a category of content that I am not very familiar with, so I should use all of these books, and that is the best cookbook category. Now, the finalists for best cookbook are Let's Eat by Dan Pelosi, Portico by Leah Koenig, Start Here by Sola El Wali, Still We Rise by Erica Council, Tender Heart by Hetty Lou McKinnon. And the winner of Best Cookbook, I will get the envelope ready. The winner is, every time, the winner of Best Cookbook is Start Here by Sola El Whaley. So this is a really wonderful, practical, and information-packed transformative guide to becoming a better cook and conquering the kitchen. Start Here is a must-have masterclass in leveling up your cooking. It is culinary school without the student loans. So absolutely something I will be checking out. Congratulations again for Start Here as the best cookbook by Sola El Whaley. Excuse me.
I love Sola's online presence. She's so much fun to watch in her videos, and I'm really excited to pick up that cookbook. Now we're going from cookbooks to book club. These next books have all been recommended as a part of a celebrity book club. Whether it's Oprah, Reese, or Jenna, these books are likely already on your to-be-read list. The finalists are Hello Beautiful by Anne Napolitano, Mame by Jessica George, Tom Lake by Ann Patchett, Wellness by Nathan Hill, Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. And the winner for Best Book Club book is Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. Congratulations. Best-selling sensation Juniper Song is not who she says she is. She didn't write the book she claims she wrote, and she's most certainly not Asian American. Yellowface grapples with questions of diversity, racism, and cultural appropriation, as well as the terrifying alienation of social media. Now, stick around. Coming up next, we have our thriller category, romantasy, memoir, and so much more. Again, congratulations to R.F. Kuang for Yellowface.
Congratulations again to all our winners so far. Now, this is the inaugural Libby Book Awards, so hopefully in future years, we can make sure to have winners at the ceremony and other fun things. So we appreciate you hanging in for all of our reveals of the winners. So on to the next category. Now, this is for Best Diverse Author. Now, this award is intended to bring awareness to the voices in the sci-fi and fantasy space that address social themes such as racial and gender inequality, LGBTQ plus rights, environmental justice, poverty, refugee and immigrant rights, and other social issues. So with those in mind, the finalists for this category are Camp Zero by Michelle Min Sterling, Liquid Snakes by Stephen Kearse, Lone Women by Victor Laval, The Terraformers by Annalee Newitz, and The Thick and the Lean by Hannah Proter. And the winner of Best Diverse Author is, let me get the beautiful envelope, Camp Zero by Michelle Min Sterling. Now, in a near future northern settlement, the fates of a young woman, a professor, and a mysterious collective of researchers collide in this electrifying page-turner and masterful exploration of who and what will survive in a warming world, and how falling in love and building community can be the most daring acts of all. So again, congratulations to Camp Zero.
Congratulations to Camp Zero. And again, congratulations to all of our winners. Now, the next category is another one of those that is very near and dear to both mine and Emma's hearts, and we might have had to battle a little bit to see who got to read this one. It is Best Thriller. As any listeners will know this is our shtick. This is what we love. And so we're very excited to see who won. Whether you're going creepy and psychological or you're looking out for who's standing behind you, you're going to get good chills and thrills here. The finalists are All the Sinners Bleed by S.A. Cosby, Bright Young Women by Jessica Knoll, Het by Catherine Chidgey, The Center by Aisha Manzir Siddiqui, The Secret Hours by Mick Herron. And the winner of Best Thriller is Bright Young Women by Jessica Knoll. Congratulations, Jessica. Masterfully blending elements of psychological suspense and true crime, Bright Young Women goes hours before a soon-to-be infamous murderer descends and explores the lives and stories of two of his victims. We had the absolute pleasure to have Jessica on the podcast to talk about this book. If you would like to check it out, we recommend you go and give it a listen. Again, congratulations for Bright Young Women.
Yay, congratulations, Jessica Knoll. I see that book just there on my shelf. And so now that we have done thriller, we are on to one of my favorite other genres. If you know and listen to the podcast, I listen and read a lot of fantasy. And so I'm happy to announce that our next category is for the best fantasy book for the Libby Book Awards in 2023. Now, fantasy I enjoy because it is a nice escape from the reality of life, from maybe some of the more boring elements of day-to-day life. And in fantasy, everything is at your fingertips. Anything is possible. And that is certainly something to be said in all of these books. So the finalists for Best Fantasy are A Day of Fallen Night by Samantha Shannon. She was also on Professional Book Nerds last year, so I will plug, if you haven't listened to that conversation, do so. We also have Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. This book absolutely exploded last year, so I am not surprised to see it as a finalist here. We also have Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo, To Shape a Dragon's Breath by Moniquel Blackgoose, and Witch King by Martha Wells. So with those as the finalists, what a stacked category. The winner of Best Fantasy is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. So this is book one of the Empyrean series. We follow 20-something Violet Sorrengail as she goes from entering a quiet life among books and history to being thrown directly into the middle of a brutal and elite world in War College for Dragon Riders. So everyone at Basgiath War College has an agenda because once you enter, there are only two ways out: graduate or die. So congratulations again to Rebecca Yarros for Best Fantasy for Fourth Wing. And again, congratulations to another former Professional Book Nerds podcast guest.
That book absolutely took the world by storm. And to get 2 installments of a new series in the same year, unbelievable.
It was a treat.
It really was. You didn't have to wait long for part 2. Looking at our next category, a very popular genre the world over, historical fiction. Whether you are taking a step back in time for a day in the life, or you are reimagining history in more of a magical kind of way, this is a fun and exciting way to learn a little bit more and really spend your time reading happily. The finalists for Best Historical Fiction are Beyond the Door of No Return by David Diop, Let Us Descend by Jesmyn Ward, Loot by Tanya James, North Woods by Daniel Mason, The Great Reclamation by Rachel Hang. And the winner is, for Best Historical Fiction, Let Us Descend by Jesmyn Ward. Congratulations. So excited. Absolutely loved this book. Let Us Descend describes Annis's journey from the rice fields of the Carolinas to the slave markets of New Orleans and into the fearsome heart of a Louisiana sugar plantation. Annis turns inward, seeking comfort from memories of her mother and stories of her African warrior grandmother. Throughout, she opens herself to a world beyond this one, teeming with spirits who nurture and give, and those who manipulate and take. While Annis takes the reader through the descent, hers is ultimately a story of rebirth and reclamation. So again, congratulations to Jesmyn Ward or let us descend. Make sure you stay tuned to the end of our program to find out the best books of the year. If you haven't heard all of these wonderful categories already, we're talking adult fiction of the year, YA of the year, debut of the year. So keep an eye and an ear out for those.
Thanks, Joe. Now, on to some might say the culmination of all my favorite genres together, and that is the romantasy category. So, romantasy has taken the book world by storm, not a new concept, but I think the term romantasy is something that we have seen a lot more of in the last year. And so, again, that is books that have romance and fantasy combined. Now, all of these stories are some of my absolute favorites from 2023. So I'm really happy to see these finalists for the best romantasy category for the 2023 Libby Book Awards. Now, the finalists are Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett, Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong, Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros, Mortal Follies by Alexis Hall, and The Hurricane Wars by Taya Gounson. And I totally butchered that last name, but we appreciate your understanding there. Now, the winner for Best Romantasy in 2023, let me find the envelope, is probably no surprise to anyone. It is Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. So as we just heard about Fourth Wing, Iron Flame follows Violet Sorrengail in the second book in the Empyrean series. Now, everyone expected Violet to die during her first year at Basgiath War College, Violet included. But the threshing was only the first impossible test meant to weed out the weak-willed, the unworthy, and the unlucky. And now in Iron Flame, Violet's real training begins. She combats enemies from inside and outside the walls of Basgiath, and determination to survive won't be enough this year. Violet knows the real secret hidden for centuries, and nothing, not even dragonfire, may be enough to save them in the end. So congrats again to Rebecca. Be sure to check out our November 2023 interview with Rebecca, where she talks all about Iron Flame and a little bit of behind the scenes on who she thinks Violet's endgame with.
I said it before, I'll say it again. 2 books in a series in a year is no small feat, especially when you're building this fantasy world from scratch. Our next category, we are jumping into another of my favorites, is graphic novel. So our best graphic novel, I love graphic novels. They're such an amazing way to experience reading across all ages. Switching formats can also help you beat a reading slump. So if you find that you are regularly reading your ebooks or listening to audiobooks, and for whatever reason you can't find that good flow you're looking for, switch up the format. Maybe a graphic novel is just what you need. From fiction to non, you'll have all sorts of options waiting for you. Now, our finalists for this category are A Guest in the House by Emily Carroll, One Bad Day, The Riddler from the Batman series by Tom King and Mitch Garids, Roaming by Gillian Tamaki and Mariko Tamaki, Shubeki Lubeki by Dina Mohammed, and The Talk by Darren Bell. And our winner for Best Graphic Novel of 2023, as voted on by our wonderful librarians, is The Talk by Darren Bell. Darren Bell was 6 years old when his mother told him he couldn't have a realistic water gun. She said she feared for his safety. Through evocative illustrations and sharp humor, Bell examines how The Talk shaped intimate and public moments from childhood to adulthood. And now Bell must decide whether he and his own 6-year-old son are ready to have The Talk. So congratulations again to Darren Bell and The Talk, Best Graphic Novel of 2023.
So I'm happy we have such a wide variety of categories in this awards because these have given me a lot of suggestions for what to read in genres that I don't normally pursue. So thank you, Joe, for reading all of those wonderful graphic novels. You know that's an area that I always mean to read more of. Now, our next category, also something I mean to read more of, is science fiction. Now, the finalists for this category have a wide variety of elements in these books. They sound absolutely incredible. And I love that you have a little bit of everything, I think, in these finalists. Now, for best science fiction, we have Infinity Gate by M.R. Carey, Some Desperate Glory by Emily Tesh, System Collapse by Martha Wells, The Deep Sky by Yumi Kitse, and Translation State by Anne Leckie. And the winner of the best science fiction in my pretty envelope. Shout out to my co-host Joe for making these for each of us. The winner of best science fiction is System Collapse by Martha Wells. Now, this is part of the Murderbot Diaries by Martha Wells. It is a series concerning a violent, self-hacking cyborg searching for the meaning of life. This is book 7 in the series, System Collapse, and it brings readers right back into the world of everyone's favorite sec unit, Murderbot. And I know that this Murderbot series is absolutely a fan favorite. Several of our colleagues at Overdrive love the Murderbot Diaries. This has definitely been on my list to check out. So congratulations again to System Collapse by Martha Wells.
Such a cool concept. I first heard about Murderbots in one of our podcast episodes. I know there are so many people here at Overdrive who love the series. My brain looking at science fiction, I go, yes, I want to try it. I know I could love it. and what a fun category to start out with. Diving in there. Now we are moving into a category near and dear to my heart, best memoir and autobiography. I love the chance to take a peek into the life of someone else. Whether you are looking at a celebrity or just a person sharing their extraordinary life journey, memoir and autobiography is one of my favorite ways to gain additional perspective. Our finalists are Doppelganger by Naomi Klein, How to Say Babylon by Sophia Sinclair, My Name is Barbara by Barbara Streisand, Page Boy by Elliot Page, You Could Make This Place Beautiful by Maggie Smith. And our winner for Best Memoir and Autobiography, Page Boy by Elliot Page. Congratulations, Elliot. This book is full of intimate stories, from chasing down secret love affairs to battling body image and struggling with familial strife. Page Boy is a love letter to the power of being seen. Elliot Page captures the universal human experience of searching for ourselves and our place in this complicated world. So congratulations, Page Boy and Elliot Page, on that category. Now we are about to head into our final group of titles here. Stick around to the end to see who won Best Adult Fiction of the Year.
I can't believe we're into some of our best of the year categories. We are starting off that category or that section with the audiobook of the year. Now, I know Joe is a voracious audiobook listener, and this is always something I strive to. I would love to be an audiobook girly. So again, I am taking all of these finalists as suggestions. Now, the finalists, again, for audiobook of the year are All the Sinners Bleed by S.A. Cosby, narrated by Adam Lazar White. I Have Some Questions for You by Rebecca Mackay. This is narrated by Julia Whalen and J.D. Jackson. King, A Life by Jonathan Eig, narrated by Dion Graham. Poverty by America by Matthew Desmond, also narrated by Dion Graham. The Secret Hours by Mick Herron, narrated by Gerard Doyle. And the winner for audiobook of the year, again, let me get the envelope and see that our winner is, maybe, I Have Some Questions for You by Rebecca Mackay. This was read by Julia Whalen and J.D. Jackson. In I Have Some Questions for You, Rebecca Mackay has crafted a stirring investigation into collective memory and a deeply felt examination of one woman's reckoning with her past, with a transfixing mystery at its heart. Timely, hypnotic, and populated with a cast of unforgettable characters, I Have Some Questions for You is at once a compulsive page turner and a literary triumph. So, again, congratulations to our best audiobook of the year winner. I have some questions for you by Rebecca Mackay, narrated by Julia Whalen and JD Jackson.
I mean, you called me out. I love audiobooks. There is nothing better to me than being able to just do a few extra things and read a book while I'm at it. Dishes, chores, everything in life is better with a book in hand or in ear. Now, our next category is Debut Author of the Year. One of my absolute favorite parts of interviewing authors on the Professional Book Nerds podcast is getting the chance to talk to debut authors, getting to share this moment with them right before the world learns about their book. It's so wonderful. I always relish this opportunity. And so let's look at our finalists. Our finalists are Nana Kwame Adjei-Brenyah for Chain Gang All Stars, Marisa Kane, I Keep My Exoskeletons to Myself, Ana Reyes for The House in the Pines, Selby Wynne Schwartz, After Sappho, and Alice Wynne for In Memoriam. Our winner for Debut Author of the Year is Ana Reyes for The House in the Pines. Armed with only hazy memories, a woman who long ago witnessed her friend's sudden, mysterious death and has since spent her life trying to forget, sets out to track down answers. What she uncovers deep in the woods is hardly to be believed. Maya was a high school senior when her best friend Aubrey dropped dead in front of the enigmatic man named Frank, whom they'd been spending time with all summer. Congrats to Anna. And of course, this is where I get to shamelessly plug yet again. You can listen to my January 2023 interview with Ana Reyes for The House in the Pines. Fantastic work. Congratulations. And another moment to check in and say congratulations to all of our winners. Thank you to our librarians who voted, and thank you to all of you who are watching right now.
Yeah, this is so fun for Joe and I to do. Obviously, it's wonderful that we get to recognize all of these great titles and authors. And we're so thankful that these titles were nominated by librarians and voted on for librarians. So it's always fun that we get to do things like this. Now, our next category in our sort of best books of the year category is a book of the year for young adult fiction. Now, this is a category that Joe and I both love. We love reading young adult books. The finalists in this category are The Blackwoods by Brandy Colbert, The Davenports by Crystal Marquis, Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross, Warrior Girl Unearthed by Angeline Bowley, and What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez. And the winner for Best Book of the Year, Young Adult Fiction is, make sure I have the right envelope here. It goes to Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. This was one of my favorite books of 2023. And Divine Rivals follows, is part of the Letters of Enchantment duology, where you have two young rival journalists who find love through a magical connection. They must face the depths of hell in a war among gods to seal their fate forever. Rebecca was a podcast. Rebecca was a guest on the Professional Book Nerds podcast in December. So if you would like to hear more about the inspiration behind the duology, be sure to listen to that episode. But congratulations to Rebecca for Divine Rivals winning Book of the Year, Young Adult Fiction.
Moving into our penultimate category, I can't believe we are already here. Best Book of the Year, Adult Nonfiction. The finalists are The Best Minds by Jonathan Rosen, Master, Slave, Husband, Wife by Ian Wu, Monsters by Claire Dederer, The Wager by David Gran, When Crack Was King by Donovan X. Ramsey. And our winner is The Wager by David Gran. Congratulations. On January 28th, 1742, a ramshackle vessel of patched together wood and cloth washed up on the coast of Brazil. Inside were 30 emaciated men, barely alive, and they had an extraordinary tale to tell. The Wager is a grand tale of human behavior at the extremes. Again, congratulations to David for The Wager. Emma, we're here. It's the
I
final
know.
category.
I swear it took longer when we practiced.
I know.
We're just so excited to get through all of the categories and to announce the winners. We know that the finalists have been out there for a while now, and so we are very excited to reveal who has won each category. We're so excited. We're just flying through. Now we are to our last category, as we said, for Book of the Year, Adult Fiction. The finalists in this category are some incredible books, heavy hitters. If you read and know anything about books in 2023, you will very easily recognize all of these titles that we have included here as finalists. Now, they are Burnham Wood by Eleanor Catton, Let Us Descend by Jesmyn Ward, The Fraud by Zadie Smith, The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store by James McBride, and Tom Lake by Anne Patchett. And the winner for Book of the Year, Adult Fiction, in my final envelope of the night is The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store by James McBride. Now, in 1972, when workers in Pottstown, Pennsylvania were digging foundations for a new development, the last thing they expected to find was a skeleton at the bottom of a well. Who the skeleton was and how it got there were two of the long-held secrets kept by the residents of Chicken Hill. Following the stories and their overlap of a cast of characters, it becomes clear how much the people who live on the margins of white Christian America struggle and what they must do to survive. When the truth is finally revealed, we're shown that even in dark times, it is love and community that sustains us. So congratulations again to The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store by James McBride for Book of the Year, Adult Fiction.
Congratulations, James, and congratulations to, again, all of our winners and all of our nominees. These are fantastic books, and you could take this whole list and run with it into a beautiful year of reading. Now, I wanted to take a moment to remind everyone the recording will be available and that the list of winners, honorable mentions, and everything in between will be available through the Libby Life blog tomorrow. So keep an eye on the Libby Life blog if you'd like to see all of this summed up. And if there are any honorable mentions you want to sneak a peek at, they'll all be there. So in a moment of closing, thank you all so much for joining Emma and I tonight for the inaugural Libby Book Awards. It really does mean so much that you tuned in live. Thank you to you, the viewers, to the librarians who voted, and to our finalists and winners for giving us such wonderful words to enjoy. We hope you enjoyed the Libby Book Awards, and we hope to see you again. As I said, be sure you check out all of these amazing books in the Libby app. It will really set you up for a year of reading joy. If you'd like more about Emma and I, you can check out the Professional Book Nerds podcasts on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. We put out episodes every Thursday and 2 Mondays a month for book recommendations and author interviews. You can find us on social media at ProBookNerds. Thank you so much for watching the Libbys, and happy reading.
Happy reading, everyone, and thanks again for joining us.